But someone who has the mindset of, I'm decisive, I will take action, I will do whatever it takes. What happens is, even if they fail first, they keep going until. Here's the crazy part, is typically when you make a 100% fully committed, all-in decision, doors open. And part of the journey is failing your way forward. If you spend the whole time avoiding failure, in order to get to where you want to be and have the success that you're looking for, you typically have to fail in order to get there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this podcast episode, this is going to be a real run, a real one. I'm going to talk really straight with you. There's some important things on my mind and how I'm feeling. And this is for those of you that, that you're wanting to live your dream life as an entrepreneur. Maybe you're still in the buying process and trying to figure out if it's for you. Maybe you're already an entrepreneur. Maybe you already have a business and you're just, you're working as hard as you can to make things happen. You're really trying. But internally you're struggling, you're dealing with just, you're busy, you're overwhelmed. You start to experience just doubt. Like, can you do this? Is this really the way you should go? Is this the path for you? Comparing yourself to others, and you just find that you're having a hard time right now. And I want to share 4 specific thoughts with you, and maybe more, that I think are going to be important for you on this journey. And in order to create the life you want as an entrepreneur, right? And so here's the reality. I have a very extreme mindset when it comes to results in business, which is either you will find a way or you will find an excuse. You will either find a way or you will find an excuse. So look, right now there are very real and tangible reasons that you can use as to why you cannot, will not, or won't get what it is that you want. Like the path's too risky, it's too scary, you don't have the money, whatever it is. At the end of the day, again, like, either you'll find a way or you'll find an excuse. And so I'll share some experiences that I've gone through. My journey as an entrepreneur has just been utterly crazy. I share pretty openly about how I had 9 failed businesses over the course of about 8 or 9 years. And one of the things I don't talk about was that for a long time, I struggled with depression, like pretty intense. Like times where I just couldn't get out of bed, didn't get out of bed. Sometimes it would last for months at a time. So here's what would happen was that I'd start a business, I'd gain momentum, I'd be going full steam, and like rock and rolling, crushing it. And then something would happen, whether it was something external or internal. Sometimes it was just self-sabotage, to be quite honest. Like, I was getting close and the brain just wanted to self-sabotage and keep me where it was. Sometimes it was external circumstances. I remember one time it was an argument that I had with a family member, and that triggered it. And it was heavy, and it would lead to certain substances and drowning myself and numbing myself. And it was a really dark place. And it dramatically impacted my marriage. It dramatically impacted my work, my happiness. It was rough, guys, really, really rough. And so I know what it's like to struggle and to just feel like you can't go on anymore, or just to feel like you're not capable, or it's too hard or too scary. I've had every doubt, fear that you can imagine in the process. And so part of your ability to create what you want is by rewiring the way that you think and the way that you feel. Because here's how it works. Your thoughts trigger and create the emotions. Your emotions, the way that you feel, will trigger the actions you do or don't take into the level of conviction you take those actions. And then that will create your results. It's called the success boxes. A lot of personal development people talk about this concept, but I learned it really intimately when I worked for Tony Robbins. And so as an example, if your thought process is, this is really hard, it's going to be really risky, I don't know if I can do this, there's part of me that can fail, then those sort of thoughts will lead to emotions of, let's say, tremendous fear, uncertainty, doubt, anxiety. And so then when you have those feelings of fear, uncertainty, doubt, anxiety, whatever other emotions that creates, what happens is that your actions reflect that. So either there are big, bold, decisive actions that you need to take in order to get your outcome, but then you don't take them, right? Or you kind of dip your toe in the water as opposed to jumping in, right? And so then that leads to you not getting the results that you want. And so as opposed to, let's say, a different thought process where you just reframe it, you just literally reframe. So it's, okay, let's say a thought is, yeah, business is risky, but there are a bunch of other people that have succeeded and made it happen. And your belief is, if they can do it, I can do it. Like, it'll be hard. That's fine. But I will keep going until, like, I will find a way. I will do whatever it takes. If that's your mindset, if you're thinking, I will do whatever it takes, I just want you to imagine for a second, with that level of mindset that you believe deeply, a conviction, how do you think your actions would be different if you're focusing on all of the risk and all the ways that you could fail? Your actions are going to be tremendously different. Not only are you going to take more action and execute more, you're going to execute at a higher level with a higher level of certainty. Have you ever seen someone get hurt just because, or a situation at work just because they went into it timidly, as opposed to, like, if they just went with it full force and went 100%, they would have been fine, but because they hesitated, they got in trouble or they got hurt.
So I get multiple emails a week from companies asking to run ads on the podcast. I could have ads if I wanted to, but I don't. So there are two ways that you can help to support me and the podcast to keep it ad-free. First is to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment, even a smiley face if you have nothing to say. The YouTube algorithm only shows the video to more people based on the likes and comments on the video. So your comment could help someone get exposed to this, and not to sound too cheesy, but it could legitimately change their life. Lastly, go ahead and share this with someone that you think will enjoy this episode. Maybe someone who you know loves business and entrepreneurial stuff, or maybe it's someone who's been saying that they want to own their own business for forever. You can message it to them directly or share it on your social media. It would mean the world to me. You guys rock. Enjoy.
Sometimes you just got to run through the wall. You just got to run through it and have that do whatever it takes mindset. So that triggers that action. And so you're working with a higher level intensity, which then it may create your result. It may not. But here's what happens if it doesn't create your result. It leads back to your I'll do whatever it takes mindset. You take other actions until you find the way. This is why mindset is more important than strategy. Now, strategy is important, but I could give you the perfect strategy right now on how to literally build a $1 million, $10 million business. Like, you could have the strategy right there, but if you don't have the mindset to have belief in yourself, to be able to execute, to overcome the fear, to overcome the uncertainty, to overcome your internal doubt, to not procrastinate, right, on making the decision, then you won't get the results with the strategy because you don't have the mindset or the engine or the horsepower to be able to produce the result. Is this making sense? Hopefully it's not sounding too abstract and it's connecting and landing for you. But someone who has the mindset of, I'm decisive, I will take action, I will do whatever it takes, I will make this work. What happens is, even if they fail first or the first strategy doesn't work, they keep going until. And now what that could look like is maybe you fail in the actual first business. But with that mindset, you say, I will keep going until, and then you move on to the next thing and you start another business. Or maybe you hire someone and it doesn't work. And then someone who does not have a do whatever it takes mindset decides that, I guess that means that I'll just keep doing the work myself and being a slave to my business and working 60 or 70 hours a week. Or you operate with the mindset of like, I will keep going until. I will keep interviewing until I find the right person. I don't care if I have to hire 4 different people. I will find the right person. With that mindset, it looks completely different. So that's the first thought for you to ingrain, which is, I will do whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes. And the next one is that I will act in spite of fear. I will act in spite of fear. So look, when it came time to open our first franchise and make the decision, my wife was strongly against us taking the money out of our house for a home equity loan. And those were some hard days and conversations, and wasn't pretty. I had pretty much staked my reputation with my wife on that this would work. And I promised her that we will not fail. I promise you we won't fail. Man, I get emotional just thinking about that because I remember how scary of a moment that was, and how challenging that was to make that declaration and just put like my relationship and my reputation with my wife on the line. So, but what happened was that triggered that mindset for me that I will do whatever it takes. Like I literally, if I have to sleep in the store, I will do literally whatever it takes. And here's the crazy part is typically when you make a 100% fully committed, all in decision, doors open. The path starts to reveal itself. Now, I am a person of faith. I believe in God. I believe that God has guided me and protected me along this journey. I've prayed. I've asked for guidance throughout this entire journey. And so part of this whole thing is your faith. Regardless of what your faith is, if you believe in the universe, if you are Christian, Muslim, whatever it is, you'll need to lean on your faith in this journey. And so the path started to reveal itself, and we made things work.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the podcast episode so far. One of the most consistent things that we hear from people that reach out to us is that buying a franchise feels really confusing. There's so many options out there. It's a scary decision. They don't know how to vet or do the due diligence or really narrow down on the right franchise for them, and then they really feel alone in the process. You might be the only one in your family who's ever pursued buying a franchise or being an entrepreneur, or maybe you've tried to start a side hustle before, or other businesses like me. Like before franchising, I was not able to crack the code on entrepreneurship. I'd like to invite you to reach out and work with us. We've helped many clients buy franchises, get them profitable, or buy resale businesses that are thriving. I'm talking about highly profitable resales, great value. We've allowed many of our clients to actually quit their job right away and replace their income immediately. So if you want to work with me and my team on finding or buying a franchise, doing due diligence, vetting it, or resale, then go ahead and go to tarjohnson.com/consulting, and we're happy to see if we can help. All right, enjoy the rest of the episode.
The second thought is that I act in spite of fear. And these were things that I recorded me saying these things. I act in spite of fear. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I act in spite of how I feel. I act in spite of my mood. I'm bigger than any obstacle. There was a point where I would read these things off to myself daily to wire it inside of me. And so I was acting in spite of fear. And so you can too. Like, it's okay. I used to judge myself for feeling nervous, scared, feeling lack of confidence in business and all these things. It's okay. Like, you can act in spite of fear. And the third one is that you can act in spite of how you feel, in spite of your mood. So even when you feel terrified or nervous or doubt, you can still decide to move forward anyways. It's like if you've ever done public speaking, right? When your heart starts racing, when you're about to have to speak in public and you get nervous but you act in spite of how you feel, right? You push through it. You're nervous, you're shaking, maybe you're sweating a little bit, and we wind up doing it. And then after a minute or two, it becomes okay. And so that's how it works with business as well. And so I've taken a lot of steps back. I went back into the corporate world multiple times over my entrepreneurial journey as things happened and unfolded. There's usually always a safety net somewhere, somehow. And part of the journey is failing your way forward. So if you spend the whole time avoiding failure, the irony is, in order to get to where you want to be and have the success that you're looking for and the results that you're looking for, the irony is you typically have to fail in order to get there. And so by you staying at the starting line or avoiding the failure, you're just staying exactly where you are. You're safe, but you never even have a chance of getting to your destination. And so I've failed a lot. I've lost money in business. I've had a lot of things go wrong, but it's led to this point. It's all worked out. It's all been okay. It hasn't been easy, but it's all worked out. And so become comfortable with failure. Become comfortable with uncertainty in the way that you're making decisions. I want you to know, and yes, I'm talking to you right now, that I believe in you. You can do this. You can make this happen. But it does take a shift in mindset. It does take a shift in like, hey, I act in spite of fear. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I act in spite of my mood, and I'm guided. Like, God is guiding me, protecting me, and taking those leaps of faith, right? So when you jump, your parachute, trust your parachute will open. Jump, the net shall appear, right? And guys, one of my closest friends, he went bankrupt. He went bankrupt like 15 years ago. He literally filed for bankruptcy. Today, he owns businesses that do over $15 million a year in revenue. He has an amazing family, an amazing wife. He has a beautiful house and property. He's just thriving as an entrepreneur. But he was working on himself. One, he's a man of faith. And he would go to business seminar, personal development seminar. And there's a powerful concept, which is to think is to create. God has blessed us with the ability to co-create our reality with our thoughts. I've experienced this many times. Literally things that I wrote down 15 years ago and continue to write down and to intentionally visualize has happened with intentionality. I've experienced it time and time again. And so your thoughts are very powerful, and it takes intentionality with your thinking to create the results that you want. Doesn't happen overnight. Doesn't mean there won't be obstacles. And sometimes it's not exactly how you imagined it to be. But, most people, if they wind up having to file bankruptcy, they would probably spiral into depression and just never attempt to go after it again. And, my buddy is an epic entrepreneur, and a lot of these things, I watch him and I channel him on how to operate, because I'm naturally a little bit more analytical. And so I may overthink things or decisions. He's a little bit more just go for it, like speed of execution. So I started to watch him and learn, one of the reasons why he's so successful and he's able to scale companies and businesses is that he just acts in spite of fear. He goes for it. So he fails more often than most, but he succeeds a hell of a lot more than most as well. So this is the message I wanted to share with you. If if this resonates with you, if this touched you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if this resonates with you, if this helps you, supports you, serves you. And if you want to hear more content like this, because this is when I feel on purpose. Having this conversation, oh man, this is when I feel on purpose and like I'm truly serving and really helping you. So I'd just love to know your thoughts. I'd love for you to comment below. And if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're, shoot me an email at info@tarikjohnson.com. I wish you the best. You can do this. I believe in you. And thanks for watching.